So the last college coach that almost left because he thought he had a chance to coach LeBron James, if I'm not mistaken, was Tom Izzo in Michigan State when the Cavs were reaching out, and then the Comic Sans stuff happened, and LeBron wound up taking his talents to South Beach, and Tom Izzo stayed. Now LeBron is in a potential transition. I think everybody believes he's going to stay with the Lakers. We saw a tweet of his based on a conversation about Hurley's innovative offense on, of all places, a podcast hosted by J.J. Redick, of all people, back in April. So obviously we could see by LeBron's reaction to Hurley's conversation with Redick that he likes Hurley. Another thing that we're hearing right now is who better to place your son into whose hands to place your son for his development professionally than Dan Hurley. Do you think all this is another good piece of connective tissue for this to happen, Jay?
Certainly could be. I think it's more forward-looking than just LeBron, or at least it seems that way.
Right.
That when you're talking about putting a program in, it's not just a 1 or 2 year program. I don't know how much longer LeBron has, but the end is certainly closer than the beginning. But if you're looking at a 10-year window, that's going to be post-LeBron. So putting in this program for the Lakers, and your point about development is really important. I think that's where the NBA has become more like college over the years, is there are so many younger players coming into the league. The development of those assets is really important. And Danny Hurley, in all his years in basketball, and he's been a basketball lifer with his father, Bob Hurley Sr. at St. Anthony's and the Basketball Hall of Fame, and with his brother, Bobby Hurley at Arizona State. He's a basketball lifer. And the development of players in the NBA is really important. It's not just the development of stars. It's the development of quote unquote role players, because so many of these guys, there are very few superstars in the league that are gonna change the fortunes of a franchise by themselves. You're gonna have to have players around them. So when you bring in a young player, you're not just bringing them in for right now. You're bringing them in for the future. And Danny is very good at developing talent and taking the longer view. So I think this is about who Dan Hurley is, what he's capable of, but it's also about a long-term vision. And it sounds like the Lakers have a vision for a program rather than just a vision for a coach to come in and take a seat and see if he can fly the plane. If not, they'll put somebody else in there. It doesn't sound like it's the latter.
No, I hear you, but I mean, in order for this rocket ship to launch, LeBron's got to be in the mission control right now, okaying the countdown, like green lighting the countdown, right? And so I guess that's the reason why I'm bringing all this up. Plus your next assignment, I imagine, is the NBA draft for ESPN. What is your assessment of Bronny James as a professional prospect, Jay?
I think he's a good talent. I saw him play in high school at Sierra Canyon. And did I think that if his name was Bronny Smith, we would be covering him the same way? No. I think he's a very good player that has a very good future. But the comparisons to his dad in high school, I thought were horribly unfair to him. I saw his dad play in high school from the time he was a sophomore on. I was on the crew that did his first game on ESPN at the University of Akron back in the day in 2002. And I was the only guy on the crew that had seen him. And at the time I said that LeBron James was the best high school player I'd ever seen. And then people were saying, what about Oscar Robertson and Lou Alcindor? I goes, how old do you think I am? I didn't see those guys. I said, best I've ever seen. But Bronny's different, and he's going to need some more time. And I think he can be an NBA player and a solid one. But he's going to require some time to develop.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.